Hello, my name is Sabrina Mantle. I'm a multimedia artist living and working in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I wanted to start this video diary basically for two reasons. One, for people who might be interested in the process of creating something, what it's like to be an artist, and also, along that same vein, what it is really like to be an artist. It's not just about creating, coming up with ideas. There's a whole slew of things that we go through to try to get this stuff out there in the world for people to see and enjoy. And I thought it might be interesting to kind of give you guys a glimpse of what it's like in my world, because it's a lot harder than you would think. There's a lot more things going on, a lot more things that we stress about and worry about. The project that prompted this specifically is here in Cincinnati. They're going to be doing a sculpture contest called Ecosculpt, which is going to be 24 sculptures created out of recyclable materials. You get to pick one material to make your sculpture out of, and then it's going to be installed downtown in Cincinnati. So for me, this is an exciting chance to really get something out in the public, maybe get some needed publicity and some buzz about me as an artist. I've been working for about 5 years professionally now, and that's the hardest part right now, is getting people to see my work. When I heard about the Ecosculpt contest, I had quite a few ideas in the first place. Ideas are the easy part for me. I can come up with probably some sort of creative idea for a project once or twice a week. But hi bits. The hard part is, how do I make it happen? I don't have any money. I can't afford supplies. I can't afford equipment. So cost is usually the first thing after the idea that insinuates itself into the process. Because even using a recyclable material like pop cans or tires doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to be able to get those materials for free. I might have to pay for aluminum cans, and then I would have to come up with a structure to attach all these things together. So the first couple ideas I had, I discarded sheerly just because I figured they'd cost me a couple $100 right off the bat. Then I came up with something that it's going to cost me practically nothing, which is why I went with it. I happen to work at IKEA, and we get tons of merchandise shipped in every day. And about 6 months ago, I worked on making a sculpture out of trash from IKEA. And when I did that, I encountered a number of products that were pretty interesting artistically. They had quite a bit of potential in them. So I was able to take what I learned from the first sculpture that I made, which unfortunately right now is sitting downstairs in my living room because they canceled the show for 6 months, and it's waiting for that show to reopen. But I did learn some things making that sculpture, and one of them was this material, which is plastic strapping that comes on pallets, holds product together. And when I worked with this on the sculpture, I saw it kind of as like calligraphy, like a three-dimensional ink line. It had great movement, and it's completely flexible. I just thought there's a lot of potential in this whole thing. So this is what I'm planning to make my sculpture out of for Ecosculpt. And it's going to be entirely out of this. There's just going to be some sort of internal support system to hold it up. This was the first design I came up with. The concept here was based on something else that I found when I was working on my sculpture. Is I really like to make things look like they're going through something, kind of to fake you out, to make it look like it's going through something without actually going through it. So my plan here is to have a plywood base and take this black strapping and staple it in loops to the plywood, and then I was going to weave the strapping together into some sort of a trunk, and then they would spread out and fall over and move in the wind. Then down here on the ground, where all the loops kind of were coming in, I was going to pour a thin layer of concrete because this was going to be downtown, I assumed, on a sidewalk, and then it would look like this sculpture was organically growing out of the concrete. Well, as exciting as this idea was, it immediately got thrown out because where the sculpture was going to be, it's not concrete, it's granite. So as soon as I found out I got accepted for this contest, I looked at pictures from last year and went, wait a minute, that's not concrete. So, rethink, don't panic, come up with a plan B. This is plan B, a sculpture that can sit on concrete, dirt, whatever surface they come up with down there. Still, it's going to be a woven cylinder. This is in the round, it's like a trunk, but much more dynamic, the second idea. I want it to twist and turn around, and then the loose parts to kind of spew at you. And on the base, where the roots or tentacles or tendrils are, they're going to be much more gnarly, with more lines, more bits of strap coming off. And not only is this thing going to be easier to install because I don't have to pour any concrete, which is a plus, I think it's just going to be much more dynamic, so I'm actually pretty excited about this. Here are a few of the things that go through your head when you hear that you've got into a contest. I got in! Yes! I am awesome! I am going to win. I'm going to get that $500 and I'm going to beat everybody else. I am the best. This could be it. I do this contest, I get some press, people start to know my name. I'm on my way. Oh my God. I have how many days to build this thing? I've never built a 10-foot high sculpture to sit outdoors. Can I do that? What if it falls apart? What if it doesn't work? What if it looks like crap? What if it takes a lot longer to build than I think? I mean, every time you make something, you're making it for the first time. You don't know how long it's going to take. It always takes 10 times longer than you think. What if I spend all this time building it, and I make it, and nothing happens? Nobody cares. Nobody looks at it. I don't win any prizes. I've spent all this time and nothing happens. Okay, deep breaths. Don't panic. Keep it together. You can do this. This is a good thing, right? So those were the first 2 days after I found out I got into the contest. Now it's day 3. And I'm starting to make lists of all the things that need to be done if we're going to get this project going and keep it on track. Hopefully, if I just stay organized, it'll be fine. So the first thing I have to do is come up with a way for this to be supported. I need to come up with some sort of weighted base and then a pole to wrap the whole woven sculpture onto. I have a few ideas, but I'm going to have to find out, first off, I have to find out what kind of material, copper pipe, conduit, I'm not sure what, that would be flexible enough that I could make that kind of loop, and then how to make it fill out. Because the whole trunk is probably going to be, I don't know, maybe about this big of a cylinder. So if I have a narrow pipe in there, it needs to have some sort of ring or something on it periodically to keep the whole thing round. I don't know. I'll have to think about that one a little bit. But yeah, that's the first thing I have to do, is I have to design a way for this whole thing to stand upright. And then I have to go to IKEA, talk to the store manager and find out if it's okay if I come in and collect giant piles of plastic strapping. Stay tuned.